What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mod Squad. Layeth the squad down. I am your host, Kevin. Joining me, as always, Steve.
What's going on, everybody? How we do?
Or actually, should I say, back from assignment, Steve.
What's going on, everybody? How we do? Steve was in Ohio last week, out in Chillicothe. That's right. That's Chilicote, Chillicothe, Ohio.
And you
Working.
can't teach that.
You can't teach that. That's right. I was at Big Time Wrestling, which is put on by the fabulous Bobby Eaton of the no Fulton. Why did I say Eaton? Bobby Eaton has passed away. It's beautiful Bobby Eaton. He unfortunately has passed. Bobby Fulton, with his son Dylan, put on a promotion out in Ohio. I will actually be back there at the end of September. But such names that were there on this promotion. Sting did an autograph signing, didn't wrestle, but he did show up. We had Jake the Snake Roberts' brother, Sam Houston. Not many people know that Sam Houston is actually the brother of Jake Roberts, for people who actually know who Sam Houston is. Enzo Amore, Too Cold Scorpio, Rob Van Dam, Shane Douglas, Sabu, just to name a few. Nikita Koloff was actually sitting by us with referee Tommy Young the entire day.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a blast of a show. Wardlow actually was there as well, off his fresh loss to Powerhouse Hobbs. There were a bunch of people, a bunch of old schoolers. Mr. Hughes, for anyone who knows who Mr. Hughes is always there. Just a bunch of old school wrestlers that I'm a big fan of. Some of the current guys. But it was a fun show. I travel cross country. I've mentioned it before: Tennessee, North Carolina, Ohio. I'll be in Indianapolis next month, so I'll actually probably be missing another show because I'll be out in Indianapolis, where I will hopefully meet AEW heavyweight champion Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
It's actually a very AEW heavy show for appearances.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a wrestling weekly review and recap show. So let's just go ahead and jump right on into Raw.
That was me diving. I was diving.
Diving right in.
Diving right into it.
Raw opened with Edge coming to the ring to deliver a promo.
Honesty. Sorry.
He thanked the crowd before Finn Balor came out to settle their differences once and for all. Blah, blah, blah. There was a brawl. Gargano and Loomis came out. So there ended up being a match between the Judgment Day and Gargano and Loomis, with the Judgment Day winning. Of course.
I don't. There are a ton of finishes in wrestling this week that I just don't understand.
Raw was, in my opinion, a very stagnant show. It did not move the storylines forward at all. While SmackDown did start to ramp things up, but we're still on Raw right now. Almost an MVP.
I'm gonna say I disagree, and I think that the main segment of Raw helped continue along the storyline of what we have happening leading up to Mania. And other than that, not a lot.
All
so
right.
If I'm on the week, I'm on for Raw. I might be on. I wasn't here last week, so.
Almost MVP came out to the ring for a showdown with Brock Lesnar, and he did the thing where he goes to shake his hand, just show how big his hands are against Brock Lesnar and all that. Yeah, nothing much really happened, other than Brock Lesnar jumping out of the ring looking like he's almost scared of Almost, which he's not. Yeah.
What's funny is Brock Lesnar had the choice of picking Bray Wyatt or Omos for WrestleMania. He had the choice of picking Bray Wyatt or Omos.
And he went with Omos.
He picked Omos.
I don't think he cares for Bray Wyatt personally, to tell you the
truth. I hear that Bray has actually been starting to distance himself from the company upon Vince's return. Vince has started making his presence in the company again.
And so that just
And I think I think Bray, if Vince continues to come on back, I think Bray is going to pop right back out of the company again.
I don't blame him, to tell you the truth. The second match of the night saw Cody Rhodes take on LA Knight.
Yeah, let me tell you something, LA Knight. Let me talk to you.
Well, let me talk to you and tell you that Cody Rhodes won.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes beats LA Knight.
Good fucking match, though.
It was a good match. Both of these guys can go. Cody, as much as I hate to say it, I like Cody.
Cody's good. I don't think Cody should beat Roman.
I think he should. I think he should because then we have Elias versus Bronson Reed in a match that I do not remember at all, with Bronson Reed winning.
Of course, Bronson Reed winning.
Yeah.
You did have Boogs out there taking notes. Because they're putting Boogs with Elias because it's the two guitarists.
Yeah, I seriously have no recollection of this match whatsoever.
I slightly have a recollection of this match, only because I like Bronson Reed.
Then we have let's see, Austin Theory got into a bit of an argument with the Street Profits early in the day. Montez Ford came out with Dawkins, but went backstage before it began so Dawkins could fight his own battle. Austin Theory still picks up the victory.
Of course, he still picks up the win.
Then we have Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin. Dominic and Rey Mysterio had a little segment before this. They are going, where Dominic basically still wants Rey at Mania, and Rey just says no. But we have Seth Rollins versus Corbin, with Seth Rollins winning. I'm just going through Raw.
No, I understand. We did get a segment. I think it might have been. I want to say it was Raw. It might have been SmackDown, where LA Knight loses and then he goes in the back and they interview him. Oh, I think that was SmackDown.
I think it was SmackDown, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'll probably miss it on SmackDown when I go through it. So
Right. You're just over here signing autographs. Well, let me face Dominic. Let me face Dominic at Mania. I'll be the deadbeat dad, huh? How about that? And then Rey just smacks the shit out of LA Knight. Is it me, or does LA Knight look like a little bit like Zachary Levi?
Yes, a lot like Zach, like a more muscular Zachary Levi.
Like they could bring Zachary Levi to play brothers with LA Knight.
Yeah.
You could just make LA Knight the new Shazam.
There you go. Bianca Belair versus
let me talk to you, Shazam.
That'd be good, actually. I would
Shazam.
Bianca Belair versus Chelsea Green, and Bianca wins in a horrible match because Chelsea Green is horrible. Yeah. Then we got Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa. I did it. I said it right. Solo Sikoa.
Kermit Flail.
It ended up being a street fight match. With
no street profits, though. I'm kidding. Kidding? I digress.
The Usos ended up interfering to help their younger brother
with a laid trap. It was a well-laid trap.
It was a well-laid trap, but Solo picks up the win over KO. So
that's Raw.
That's Raw.
In between, we're gonna throw in a little sponsor, ladies and gentlemen. Make you check out Pro Wrestling Loot if you happen to like Kerry Morton. That's right, son of Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express. Check out Pro Wrestling Loot. They have Kerry Morton signed cards coming on out, ladies and gentlemen. On to Friday Night SmackDown. Sorry,
definitely.
I wanted to show off my Kerry Morton card.
No, you know what, dude? If he wants to, if Pro Loot creates a sponsor, they're a sponsor. I don't care. Let's see. For SmackDown, we had Cody Rhodes kick off the show. Cody Rhodes attempted to be the mediator between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens with
a very well done segment. I'm sorry. I was just going to say I really like the opening segment they did.
I did
here.
I did too.
Sammy's like, you've heard me. Say what you have to say.
And Kevin's like, yeah, you've said all along, we don't have to be friends, but why would I fight for somebody who doesn't even want to be my friend?
It's true.
and then walks out of the ring. Says, "Are we done here?" And just walks out.
Are you happy? Are you satisfied with what you wanted? Can I go?
Yeah.
Like, are we
is
good?
is very cordial, very cordial. Something you don't really see too much in wrestling, except for with when Cody Rhodes is involved. I love how Cody Rhodes keeps it as business like as possible.
Sure.
Uh,
Much like
it,
his father.
yeah, it's very cool. Um, and before I miss it, in case I miss it, going through SmackDown, Kevin Owens actually gets in his car to leave, and Sami Zayn catches him at his car and says, "You're wrong. I love you like a brother. We're always gonna be friends. I love you." Then Kevin gets in his car and drives off.
Yeah, yeah. He goes, we're more than friends.
Yeah,
He goes, we're brothers. We've been for years and years. It's true. It's really true. Like they've known each other 20, 30 years. They've
uh,
been wrestling on the indies forever together.
yeah, yeah. Even when before they were actually friends, they just so happened to wind up in the same spot at the same time. A lot of times, and that friendship just grew from there. Uh, Then we get a mixed tag team match: Santos Escobar and Zelina Vega versus Dominic Mysterio and my boo
Re-
Rhea Ripley. Mysterio and Ripley defeat Vega and Escobar. This was actually a decent match. One of
It
the
was.
few Dominic Mysterio matches that I like. I don't know if he's getting better or if it's just he's actually starting to wrestle the way he's supposed to, because I know he can wrestle. A lot of times it just don't come off that way. But then we got, let's see, a question for Rey Mysterio. Is Ray still refused the match with Dominic despite firing up at one point and admitting that if he had any other spoiled brat step to him like this, he would definitely take him on and whip their ass. But not his son. He ain't gonna fight his son.
I don't know why they continue to portray and cast this lie in the WWE.
I think I know where you're
I
going.
really don't know why, because it was proven historically a decade ago that Eddie Guerrero is the legitimate father of Dominic. Ray is not his real dad. It's Eddie.
That's right.
Ray just won the legal battle in the ring for custody of of Dominic as a child.
You are not the father.
Father. I just I just don't
You know,
it's so silly, because at no point did they ever think like, oh, Dominic's going to grow up and become a wrestler in the WWE and then constantly talk about Ray being his father. No, Eddie is his fucking father. You have to wonder how many people go up to Dominic and just like, oh man, I'm sorry. I once flew out to like Tennessee and Dominic was on the flight. And as we were about to take off, I lean over to my buddy and I go, who's that flying out the sky?
Oh, next we get I'm just moving on. Next we get Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez team up against Knox and Emma.
Did Tegan Knox turn heel without us knowing it? Because it was this a face on face?
It was
Or
face on face. It was face on face. And I
because I
don't
see
understand it.
Emma and I don't think of Emma as a face.
It's for a spot for a Mania quadruple threat.
Fatal four way, or
Yeah,
it's a four way. But what is it even a four way for? Is it
they
just a
haven't
four way
mentioned.
women's tag match?
Yeah,
Do
they
the
haven't mentioned.
winners get a chance to face Lita and Becky Lynch?
They did not
I
from
don't,
what I recall, they did not mention any reason to have this match, but they're having it.
because they don't, which is why I'm just boring
Yeah.
on about it. I'm sorry. It's
Yeah.
just
But Morgan and Rodriguez win because, of course, they are the bigger stars over Knox and Emma. Next, we get a Charlotte Flair promo, which she came out to the ring in her jumpsuit, so you knew that there was going to be an altercation. So, um, of course, let's see, Dominic Mysterio came out and talked trash. Ripley dealt a cheap shot to her about WrestleMania opponent, and the fight was on. They brawled, and it was a real like separating brawl because they have to build this up somehow.
and then
So why not have a big old brawl?
Charlotte randomly attacks a security guard.
Yeah, he was in the way. Don't be in the way. The queen wants to beat somebody up. Don't be in the way when she wants to do that. Next, we get Xavier Woods versus LA Knight because LA Knight interrupted Xavier Woods playing WWE 2K23, saying, "No, that's the only way you can beat me is on a video game." No, Woods defeats him in real life too with a roll up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we have the number one contenders match: Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. We had Imperium come down to the ring, and they interrupted the match. So it was a DQ.
Oh, so now we're gonna get a triple threat.
Yep.
That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a triple threat of Gunther versus Sheamus and Drew McIntyre.
Oh yeah, it is now official. Adam Pearce came on and said, "You know what? You stated to me that you wanted a one-on-one match, but your actions prove differently. It is now a triple threat." So there you have it. That was almost the end of SmackDown.
That was almost, because there's one more thing that happens.
Yes, that was the end of the matches. Then we have a Sami Zayn and Jey Uso face to face.
I thought this was a full like street fight. I thought this was like a Philadelphia street fight or some shit.
No, it was like a face to face saying, did Jay wants to? Jimmy wants to figure out Jimmy.
Oh,
Jay.
I was a week off on my Raw. It was the week before that I wasn't here that Jay turned on Sammy.
Yeah, Jay and Sammy face to face. Jay wanted to explain why he did it. He says Sammy made him do it because he's not family. He never will be. He never had a choice because family always comes first. And Sammy's like, no, bro, you always have a choice. You don't have to take the abuse that Roman dishes out. You never have to take that abuse. And it ends up being a sucker punch by Jay to Sammy.
Sure.
And the brawl comes out. Jimmy ends up coming out too. And then, of course, for the save, KO comes back for the save. And at the beginning of the night, the whole crowd was saying, "Hug it out." And, you could tell at the end of the night, Kevin Owens took that advice because they hugged it out. And you could see it was like an impromptu thing. Like Sammy wasn't expecting Kevin just walk right over to him. He was expecting like the little stare down for a minute. But Kevin just walked right over to him and grabbed him. And you could just see Sammy was just super happy.
Yeah.
Great. This definitely moved the storyline forward. It's definitely moving up. You can see things starting to ramp up all over the place on SmackDown towards Mania.
All leading up towards.
Yeah. To me, Raw, like you said,
it's pointing season.
Yes. To you, like you said, Raw moved it a little bit towards the end. I think SmackDown, the whole show, was moving it forward. So there you have it. That is WWE. Steve, what do we have for some AEWs?
Man, I'm going to say we only had a couple, in my personal opinion, only a couple really good matches on between Dynamite and Rampage. On Sunday, we did have pay-per-view.
Oh, yes. I forgot all about that.
That's right. Last week, so the day we recorded, 2 weeks ago, there was Revolution, in which MJF, as I said, went an hour plus against Bryan Danielson, whichever his name is. I don't remember. The American Dragon.
Daniel Bryanson.
I'll just call him the American Dragon.
Bryan Danielson.
The American Dragon. And so at the end of the match, they were all tied up. They had to go into overtime. Tony Khan came out and said, "No, not like this. Not like this. Not like this. We need to do more. So he continued the match, and the American Dragon passed out from a submission hold. Mm-hmm. So at the beginning of the show, we started with the what he called it the Reba Mitzvah. I'm just calling it the Max Mitzvah.
Max Mitzvah, I like it.
The Max Mitzvah, whatever. It's great. And then we had Jack Perry came out, mm-hmm. Sammy Guevara came out, that piece of shit Darby Allin came out.
The 4 pillars, if you will.
Was it just those 3 other people? I feel like there was one other.
No, it was just those 3.
Just those 3.
And Max. It had the 4 pillars of the AEWs in the ring.
When he lost the hat and the glasses, and you just see his bruised
Oh,
face
yeah.
from that Iron Man match. It was amazing. Um, we then start the actual show with wrestling. We have a trios match of the Dark Order with Hangman Adam Page, with returning recently re-signed Stu Grayson,
Yes.
reuniting on the independent scene. What they called themselves, the Super Smash Bros. Of Stu Grayson, player Uno, and player Dos. Or sorry, Grayson is player Dos, because Evil Uno,
Is
player
number one.
Uno, player Uno, player Dos, uh, going up against the Blackpool Combat Club, in which we get the Blackpool Combat Club picking up the win of, I believe it was Moxley on Stu Grayson.
Yeah, I believe so.
Jade Cargill defends once again. How they don't have her on TV? You have 4 shows. You have Elevation, Dark, Dynamite, and Rampage. How you don't have Jade Cargill on every single one of those shows defending and beating
She needs to be.
just to take that number and just like putting it through the roof? Like, if you did that, like, she'd be at 100 in like no time. Like, she went up against a wrestler named Nicole Matthews. Of course, Jade Cargill picks up the win. I believe that she was cutting a promo saying there ain't nobody in this company that's bad enough. Everybody fears me. Nobody wants to face me. And we get We're a Loco, Taya Valkyrie, recently announced that night, AEW All Elite, wife of Johnny Nitro.
But the crowd ovation to this was very lackluster. Very lackluster.
And she's from Canada, and they were in Canada. I'm happy to see Taya Valkyrie getting in there. I think she's a really good performer. I don't think that she is going to beat Jade Cargill.
No.
I think that they are still going to put that on Chris Statlander once she comes back. Okay. But we then get, just back-to-back solid matches. One with a finish I loved, one with a finish that I wasn't happy with. We get Orange Cassidy going up against Jeff Jarrett, in which they said that they are taking the Mid-Atlantic Championship and upgrading it, and we are getting, is it now the Intercontinental Championship?
It's international championship.
International.
Yeah.
It's the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
It's the International Championship of Orange Cassidy taking on Jeff Jarrett, in which I believe the majority of me and my friends, so I'm going to say the world, wanted Jeff Jarrett to win, which he should have. Orange Cassidy picks up the win, continuing the streak, continuing the championship.
Well, it was a bit of a... Dude, when you get hit with a metal object in your head and you still kick out...
And you still kick out.
It's...
Yeah.
There's suspending your belief, and then there's just... Okay,
and then there's just spitting in my face.
Yeah.
And then we have the main event, which is what I'm going to say is match of the frickin' week, in which you have House of Black coming out first, champions coming out first. It's a trios championship match of House of Black taking on the Elite, taking on the Jericho Appreciation Society. The epitome of sports entertainers. Yeah. What a my good lord. That match, great match. Like solid finish, like solid falsies.
Yeah.
I thought that, like, at one point I thought the Jericho Appreciation Society was legitimately going to win it. I would have been so upset. I would have been fine with the Elite taking it back, but in reality, no one should be beating House of Black right now. There is no reason why anyone, unless it's a situation like that where it's the Jericho Appreciation Society pinning the Elite, or the Elite pinning the Jericho Appreciation Society, there is no reason why House of Black should ever lose these belts.
I really believe this was a match to elevate House of Black, because let's face it, they haven't been on TV very much, even though when they are on, they're dominant. This is a match to prove, they are taking on the top trios in AEW and winning. So they're elevating them to boost them to a higher level. So I believe that's what's happening here.
100%. And that was our main event. House of Black retains the Trios Championship. We get 4 quick matches on Rampage. We start with Will Hobbs, House of Hobbs, taking on Ray Phoenix for the TNT Championship. And
Hobbs wins, I would imagine.
Yeah. Hobbs wins. They and I didn't mention it. I didn't talk about it, but they have now paired Hobbs with QT Marshall and Aaron Solo.
Oh.
I think it's very interesting because I was reading an article online that producers or people behind the scenes were not fans of the Factory, QT Marshall with Nick Camarado and Aaron Solo and everyone else. And they weren't having them do anything on.
They were jobbers. They were all jobbers.
They weren't doing anything on Dynamite. They weren't doing anything on Rampage. This was all storylines for Dark and Elevation, and they just broke up the group. They just decided to break up the group for no good reason. But I like what they've done. They've put QT Marshall with Will Hobbs with this whole situation, and they actually really made a really good mountain out of a molehill with the best that they were given. I don't know if you know, Wardlow's car getting broken into, his gear and everything being stolen. That's a shoot. That legit happened.
Oh, that legit happened? Okay.
That legit happened, and they decided to turn it into an angle.
Okay. As you should.
As you should. Absolutely. So we get that whole coming through. And I like what they're doing with Hobbs now. I wasn't liking the whole build up for the House of Hobbs, the Book of Hobbs, whatever they were doing. Yeah. I like him with QT Marshall. Yeah, go ahead.
No. I like Hobbs. I like the way that they're building Hobbs. He, like I said before, he reminds me of Booker T's brother back in the old days.
Stevie Ray.
Stevie Ray, yeah.
Come on, you're like, I don't know Harlem Heat. Get out of here.
Oh no. I'm just saying, I couldn't remember Stevie Ray's name at the very beginning as I started the sentence.
Stevie.
Oh, I get it.
Steve. See, right here it says Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Stevie. Stevie. Same Stevie Ray. We then get Taya Valkyrie going on her debut match in AEW, taking on.
I get it. Yeah, Stevie Ray.
We need our screen switch.
Yeah.
You're fucking ridiculous. We get Taya Valkyrie making her in-ring debut against Ava Lawless. Of course, Taya Valkyrie is going to win. I'm not gonna lie. I know the results of the next 2 matches with the way the DVR was set up. NCAA March Madness recorded the first half hour of the hour that would have been Rampage. So I missed the last 2 matches. But it was the Jericho Appreciation Society of Matt Menard and Cool Hand Ange going up against the Bollywood Boys, of course, with the Jericho Appreciation Society winning.
Of course.
And in our main event of Rampage, Daniel Garcia of the Jericho Appreciation Society taking on Brody King of the House of Black. Jericho comes on out with Daniel Garcia, which is the only reason why, in the end, Brody King ends up eating a baseball bat to the head, and Daniel Garcia picks up the 1, 2, 3. If Jericho hadn't have come out, there's no reason why Brody King wouldn't have absolutely obliterated Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia, very talented wrestler, very good sports entertainer. Brody King is much better.
He's a monster. He's a monster.
For everything that happened this week, Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Rampage, my match of the week is the main event of Dynamite of the Trios Championship, House of Black against the Elite versus the Jericho Appreciation Society.
I will have to fully agree with that. That is my match of the night, my match of the week as well, for sure. Cool. So that is it for this week in wrestling. Steve, where can people find you on your podcast, sir?
That's the last podcast you'd want. It's available on every major podcasting outlet for your ears and your eyes, whether it's your ears on Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you listen to podcasts, or here on YouTube, where you can see my ugly mug. So check it out. It's me, lots of good guests, old episodes, new episodes, continuously putting out product for your ear holes. Tip the veal, try the staff. Thank you all for coming. And if you didn't, better luck next time. Cast! Yes, All right,
It
Brandon.
is a fantastic product you put out as well.
Oh, thank you.
I've been on the show a few times, so I have to say
You're
that.
not too bad yourself.
Make sure you check out Back to the Retro Review, where I review movies from the 80s and 90s with this guy right here and Mikey the Freak.
Mikey the Freak.
Check out the other shows on the Mod Squad Network. We have a horror show. We have a Movie Talk Monday show. We go live every Saturday night with a giveaway. And coming soon, there will be a gamer show coming out. So check that out. I do believe that does it for this episode of Layeth the Squad Down here on the Mod Squad Network. So for Steve, I am Kevin saying, keep on bamming, bammers. Keep on wrestling, everybody. Whichever phrase it is that I supposed to say now. That's
First.